Several members of the Boston Bruins gathered for an informal practice on Monday, and Patrice Bergeron is talking about a different kind of start to the season without Brad Marchand, who's out with an injury. I just couldn't wait to talk about all this, so let's get going here on today's episode of Locked On Boston Bruins.
You're Locked On Bruins, your daily podcast on the Boston Bruins. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, Bruins fans, and welcome back to the Locked On Boston Bruins podcast. I'm your host, Ian McLaren, and this is a daily show where we discuss all things Spoke to Be, as well as take a look around the NHL. Today is Tuesday, September 13th, and I want to thank you so much for making Locked On Boston Bruins your first listen every day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts. If you're an Apple user, Spotify, I use Pocket Casts. Open up your app, hit that subscribe button, and never miss an episode. You can also jump on YouTube, Locked On Boston Bruins, to get a video feed of the podcast, as well as some bonus content in the form of immediate reaction to breaking news and post-game reaction as well. If you're on Twitter, you can find the podcast at Locked NHL Bruins. Same on Instagram. And you can find me, my dad jokes, hockey tweets at Ian C. McLaren. That's IANCMCLAREN. Now, Locked On Boston Bruins, technically at 3 episodes a week for the remainder of this week as we ramp up towards the beginning of training camp next week. But I just could not record today after several Bruins gathered for a captain's practice on Monday, and Patrice Bergeron had some very interesting things to say as well. Bergeron led a large bunch of Bruins players, including Charlie Coyle, Craig Smith, Jack Studnicka, Nick Foligno, Thomas Nosek, Hampus Lindholm, Brandon Carlo, Derek Forbort, Connor Clifton, Mike Riley, Jakub Zboril, Jack Ashawn, and the two starting goalies, Jeremy Swayman and Linus Ullmark, and some newcomers as well, Pavel Zacha, AJ Greer, Vinny Lettieri, and Daniel Renouf. There was also a couple rookies, prospects on the team, Fabian Lysell, Johnny Beecher. They skated after the main group as they prepare for the prospects tournament this weekend in Buffalo. It's about an hour-long skate, and Bergeron, after the practice, said he's feeling better every week, almost every day at this point, following off-season elbow procedure. He expects to be ready for opening night on October 12th, which will mark the beginning of his 19th NHL season. He said he's been in Boston for a couple weeks now after spending the summer in Quebec. Excited to be back. Happy to be around the guys. Guys are starting to trickle in, and it's great to see everyone. One player absent from Monday's skate was Brad Marchand, who's rehabbing from hip surgery, likely to miss the opening weeks, maybe up to a couple months of the regular season. Bergeron acknowledged it will be an adjustment to play without his left-hand man, but said however long it will be, it provides an opportunity for others to play significant roles. He said it's become kind of second nature at this point, playing with Brad Marchand. They read and react from one another. They know where each other is going to be pretty much all the time, and it makes things easier. That being said, you're playing with some other great players, some players with a lot of talent, great vision, hockey sense. It's for Bergeron to adjust, but also for him to talk and communicate and find ways to make a transition as seamless as possible. And one player who should see a bunch of ice time with Bergeron on the top line to begin the season is Pavel Zacha. He was acquired in July in a trade with the New Jersey Devils that sent Eric Haula the other way. Bergeron said Zacha is a great player, a very smart player, something that he knew even before he came in, just from their time on opposing sides of the ice. He plays the game the right way. He's always well positioned. He's got a great shot. And he wants to become more of a shoot-first player than what he's been in the past. Bergeron's excited to get to know Zacha on and off the ice. He's a young guy, and he's got a lot of potential to become a great player in this league, which is high praise coming from someone like Patrice Bergeron. Zacha, for his part, said he's been around for a couple weeks. He's had some one-on-one talks with Bergeron, just being around him, seeing his work ethic, seeing how he thinks about the game, the motivation he has to come into this 19th season, how hard he worked over the summer. It's something Zacha said that he hasn't seen much in the last couple of seasons. Kind of a critique of the New Jersey Devils and perhaps some lack of leadership like that. A player like Bergeron, what he's done already, still having the motivation he has, it's impressive, Zacha said. Pushes everyone around him to work a little bit harder, and that's something good players do. Now, Zacha, of course, signed a one-year contract with the Boston Bruins, so it would be mutually beneficial for him and for the team to have a productive season. Gives him a better deal on his next contract, and most importantly, helps the Boston Bruins win. So hopefully that helps him get ready for the new season, and that pairing can start off, come out running, and be effective to begin the season. The Boston Bruins just released the roster for the Prospects Challenge coming up beginning Thursday in Buffalo. We're going to talk about that here in a moment, but first, a quick word about Athletic Greens. With one delicious scoop of AG1, you are absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food sourced superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help you start your day right. This special blend of ingredients supports your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, energy, recovery, focus, and aging. Basically, all the things. Athletic Greens was created when the founder experienced a ton of gut health issues and ended up on a complicated supplement routine to recover. It cost him about $100 a day. He created Athletic Greens after experiencing how difficult it was to create an optimal nutrition routine on your own. Reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. Just one scoop in a cup of water every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. Visit athleticgreens.com/NHL Network. That's athleticgreens.com/NHL Network to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. So the Boston Bruins will be taking place in a Prospects Challenge this coming weekend, including the Buffalo Sabres, Montreal Canadiens, New Jersey Devils, Pittsburgh Penguins, and Ottawa Senators. It's a round-robin challenge featuring prospects from each team. The Bruins have announced their roster for this challenge, and they are as follows: Joey Abate, John Beecher, J.D. Greenway, who was previously listed as a defenseman. He's listed as a forward here. Curtis Hall, Brett Harrison, currently listed as injured, not attending rookie or main camp. Jacob Lauko, Fabian Lysell, Mark McLaughlin, Georgi Merkulov, Matthew Poitras, and Luke Toporowski. Invite players include James Hardy, Ryan Humphrey, Kelty, Jerry Leon, and Braden Sherman. On defense, we have Victor Berglund, Frederic Brunet, Mike Callahan, Jackson Edward, Grant Gabriel, Fedor Gordiev, Ryan Mast, Jacob Wilson, and Kai Wisman. And then in net, we have Brandon Bussey and Reed Dick. Gordiev, I should mention, is an interesting one. I know him a bit from playing with the Guelph Storm here in from 2018 to 2020. He played for the Iowa Heartlanders of the ECHL last season, 5 goals, 17 assists in 69 games. He was a 5th-round pick of the Toronto Maple Leafs in 2017. Some real potential there for the left-hand shot. A bunch of recently drafted players. Unfortunately, Brett Harrison will not be there due to an injury, I guess, suffered in a preseason game with the Oshawa Generals, which is unfortunate. But hopefully he's ready to go for their regular season. So yeah, that's what the Prospects Challenge roster looks like for the Boston Bruins. Obviously, we're excited to see John Beecher in action, Fabian Lysell. I'm excited to see what Georgi Merkulov, Mark McLaughlin can do, my boy Matthew Poitras. And on defense, Jackson Edward, Ryan Mast, Gordiev, Berglund. These are all guys looking to impress here in the Prospects Challenge. It takes place this weekend in Buffalo. Just trying to get a bit more information here about what's going on with Brett Harrison. But let's press on and check out what's going on around the NHL. Actually, let me just see here. Anyways, I'll get an update on that here in a moment. I also wanted to mention Hampus Lindholm talked yesterday about, how it's his first full season with the Boston Bruins, and he sees it as a bit of a fresh start coming in the middle of the season and beginning in training camp. Two very different things. And Lindholm said it's always nice to start from the ground. There's some new pieces in here, coaches. It's going to be a nice start for everyone to get a little fresh air. East Coast hockey is a little different. He thinks it fits him better, and he's excited about the coming years here. Of course, he signed a multi-season contract extension after being traded from the Anaheim Ducks. He's going to have a big role to play with Charlie McAvoy out of the lineup to begin the season, with Matt Grzelcyk out of the lineup. It's a position he's been in his whole career. He's been fortunate to play big minutes in Anaheim, take responsibility. It's nothing new to him. When Charlie can be back in the lineup, obviously they'll be a better team. Hopefully he can bat sooner than later. A lot of good guys in the locker room that can step it up. If you want to be a winning team, he said, you need everybody to contribute. That's something that comes easily to him. He's a guy that leads more with the way he's playing, and he's excited about the season. He is looking forward also to some of the unique aspects of Boston and New England. Seeing leaves fall off the trees, maybe have a few lobster rolls too many. Those are the joys of living further north and being able to experience all 4 seasons is always nice. Going to finish off with some quotes from Nick Foligno via Fluto Shinzawa of The Athletic. But first, I want to thank you again for making Locked On Bruins your first listen every day. We're free and available wherever you get podcasts. Don't forget to check out the Locked On NHL podcast, which is our NHL-wide show. Updates on all things NHL all season long. It's no secret that Nick Foligno had a disappointing first season with the Boston Bruins. 2 goals, a slew of injuries, including a back issue that troubled him in his brief time with the Toronto Maple Leafs, and some other issues as well that kept him from producing in black and gold. He said, and this is not uncommon to hear guys coming into training camp saying it's the best they felt in years, but that's what he's saying, the best summer he's had in years. He feels like he's back to where he was, which is huge mentally, especially as you get older. You have these little injuries that you're dealing with, and it's frustrating. Now he feels young again. Again, 2 goals in 64 games last season. And he said, you have so much pride. For him, it was a matter of fighting through the injuries, not even so much the outside negativity. He's very hard on himself. He knows the fans were disappointed that he couldn't deliver what he was expected to deliver. He didn't want to beat himself up. He thinks there were good pockets, but just not the standard that he was expecting of himself. He felt last year at a great camp, but then the wheels just fell off. Second game, he hurt his oblique, missed 8 games. MCL injury in January took him out for 4 games. A January 24th fight ended with a concussion and a 4-game break as well. And then when he came back, his role was clear. He was being put on the 4th line. Not where he wanted to be. He felt like he could give more, but it was a coach's decision, and he understood why he identified that role for him. But by the end of the season, he felt better about himself. I think he played pretty well in the postseason, all things considered. And he's coming in as a more confident player. He's coming in hoping to find some common ground with new head coach Jim Montgomery. There's some players pushing for his spot in the lineup. Jacob Lauko, AJ Greer, perhaps Mark McLaughlin, Georgi Merkulov. These are guys that could battle for bottom 6 time at the NHL level this season. His $3.8 million cap hit, of course, is prohibitive. He could go the David Backes route and be assigned to the AHL. The Bruins would save a prorated $1.125 million by sending him to Providence. But Foligno believes he can come closer to living up to that $3.8 million cap hit. It's not his fault that was offered to him. He's going to sign that. There's nowhere to go but up for Foligno. He's anxious to initiate that process, and he feels he has more jump, more explosiveness, can assert himself at the front of the net, and hopefully there's something more to give here from Nick Foligno. If they can get anything from him this season, that would be a massive bonus for the Boston Bruins. All right, that's it for today's episode of Locked On Boston Bruins, my friends. I wanted to jump on and talk about the practice yesterday. the Prospects Challenge roster that was announced today. And that will begin on Wednesday with a practice. Bruins will practice again on Thursday. Their first game will be 3:30 p.m. against the Ottawa Senators at the Harbor Center in Buffalo, New York. Brett Harrison, injured, will not attend rookie or main camp. His goal will be to get healthy in time for the Oshawa Generals regular season opener later this month. I hope you're all doing well. Hope your week is off to a good start. Thank you again for taking some time to listen to the Locked On Bruins podcast today. We're ramping up towards the regular season. I'm very excited and hope that you continue to join me daily here on the Locked On Boston Bruins podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your favorite team every single day.